Hello, everyone. This is going to be an important message, and it's going to be a word of encouragement, and we're going to talk about suicide. Once again, today's message is going to be a word of encouragement, and we're going to be speaking about suicide. We're going to touch on a couple of pointers here. I'm pretty sure we all are aware of why some of these things happen with suicide, but it's just good to talk this out because this needs to be talked about. Number one, a lot of reasons why people commit suicide is simply for this: just not having enough money. The economy is horrible. People are losing their jobs every other day. A lot of people have lost their jobs and probably couldn't even recover from COVID. I mean, it was just a terrible sight. Um, it's just horrible. And then on top of that, when you add this into it, where I've been in this situation, I'm pretty sure a lot of you all are in a situation where you're working, and basically you know that you're going to be broke by the time you get paid. I mean, because there's so many bills on top of bills. The price of living has went up as well, and especially if you're living by yourself. If you don't have a roommate or a relative or someone you're living with, and you're by yourself, it's tough. And this is one reason why a lot of people commit suicide. If someone is even talking about committing suicide, let's just say if they're talking about leaving Earth in a joking way, and that's how it all starts. Most of the time, people are just joking. And then, like, when you check them about it, they always just say, oh, no, I was just playing. Or if you see people taking a lot of prescription medicine, such as Xanax, laying around in bed a lot, not really wanting to do much, I just would really, really try to pull that person to the side, not in front of people, but one-on-one. Say, look, I know you've been taking such and such. Are you okay? We need to talk about these things because, once again, nobody really cares until it happens to them and their household or their relative. Then all of a sudden, we all want to start a revolution. And I'm not here to tease people. This suicide is very, very alarming. A lot of our teenagers, a lot of our older people who've just quit on life, they've given up hope and they don't see a way out, and they feel like the only way out is suicide. And here's the scary part. Even though suicide to them may be their only way out, but what if I told you this? If they committed suicide and then they went to hell, because I'm willing to bet you 90% of the people who've committed suicide gave up on Yahuwah a long time ago. And then imagine this, which this isn't funny, I'm just putting it in this perspective. You kill yourself and then you wind up in hell. I mean, that's just where I don't want anybody to go there. And I keep speaking about hell because it's not preached about enough, because everybody thinks that they're getting to heaven. And a lot of us are probably going to end up in a place that I wouldn't recommend for anyone. The other point I want to touch on real quick is household bullies. This isn't funny at all. I mean, I've seen this and I've witnessed this myself, where you have, let's say you're living with relatives, father or whoever. In particular, that person in the household may be looked at as the black sheep. He may not be up to par with the other three household members or what have you. I'm not here to try to see who's, the flashiest or who has the most swag and all that. I'm not here for that. But the point is, household bullying happens a lot, where they feel like one of the people that live in the house is a piece of trash, a piece of garbage, a sorry individual, and they team up. And then they don't always directly stab you in the chest. They stab you in the back. They kind of do it in a sarcastic way by some of the comments. They start to lose respect for you. Then when you call yourself telling them about it, they act like they have amnesia, or they act like they're just oblivious to the whole situation, where we're all adults here. You know when you're getting mistreated, nobody's making these accusations up. And the household bullying is a scary part, because when people try to reach out to other family members or friends to say, you know what, I'm going through hell in my household. I mean, I'm catching it from everybody in here. This is what they're doing to me. Nobody's going to believe you, because they're going to think that you need medicine. They're going to think that you need help. They're going to probably diagnose you to go to a psych ward, because they don't think household bullying happens. Everybody thinks that household bullying is long gone. This happens to children, adults. All it takes is for a collective, about 3 or 4 people who look at one of the people in the household as less than, and then bam, here it comes, and it hits the other person by surprise. They're like, wow, I can't believe that I have to deal with the outside world doing this to me, and then I have to live with this too. I mean, it's just ridiculous, and it's just sad that household bullying happens. And if you do have a relative or a friend that's going through this, be there for them. Now, this one, what I'm about to speak about, is really sad. Another reason why people commit suicide. It's not funny, and I'm getting a couple of these off my chest because it needs to be talked about. Some of us, we get into these relationships and we make them an idol. Let's just call it for what it is. We make them an idol. We think that we can't live without this person. And then let's say you guys are dating or married for about 7 or 10 years. And then one morning you wake up and the other person says, I don't want this anymore. I'm sorry. It was a good run. I can't take it. I don't know. The husband or wife, whoever gets the divorce, the other person kills themselves. And it's like, I know it's easier said than done to just say, you know what, move on. There's better people out there for you. But we shouldn't let people have that much of a stronghold on us to where we just, we fold. We fold when the other significant other says they don't want us anymore. It's just sad. And the last point, but not least, another reason why people are committing suicide at an alarming rate, because I think we all know where I'm going with this. We do know America is eventually going to crash. I'm just looking at my clock every day. I'm watching YouTube. I'm consistently looking up all kind of stuff to try to figure out when is this thing going to happen? Because look, do not wait on Big Brother. The government is not, or the news anchors, they're not going to tell you when things start going left. They're going to dress it up. They're going to put it in makeup. They're going to make everything smell good and think, oh, life is good. And, stimulus checks are out and everybody's just doing good. No, they're not. They're not going to tell you when the dollar collapses. And then when it does, it's going to hit everybody by surprise. And then it's survival of the fittest. Now, I'm kind of frustrated that a lot of us look to them as far as for information, but I've told you time and time again, they're the main ones that can't be trusted. And just because America crashes, we don't need to be putting bullets in our bodies or, jumping off of a cliff because we just love America and all the things that it has to offer when really we shouldn't be doing this. Last but not least, I don't have a particular Bible verse for this here, but I remember Job, and I know this sounds cliche. He was going through a lot. And his wife basically told him, curse God and just get this thing over with so you can die. But you know what? Even though a lot of us may not end up like Job, but the point is he eventually got everything back. His health, his wealth, his family. He got everything back. And that just goes to show you persistence is key. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Don't let the enemy in your mind, because I know he can creep in. Start planting doubts. Start telling us these lies about if God really loved you, he wouldn't make you go through this. Or if Yah was really there, you wouldn't still be in this same spot that you've been at for 30 years. It's not a fun place to be at. And I'm here to say this too. For all my people, whites, blacks, Japs, Hispanics, it doesn't matter the race. If you guys do not have money for a counselor to talk about these issues, I would just advise praying about them. And I know that sounds cliche, or try to look up YouTube videos for counselors that can counsel you over YouTube for free. You can find these videos. All you have to do is search. And it's just sad that when we don't have money, it kind of limits us to what we can do. And sometimes seeing a counselor isn't always the best thing to do, because let's call it like it is, okay? The counselor doesn't really care either. They're just there to collect that paycheck. They're going to act like they do. But once you leave that building or that facility and you go back home in your car, it's the same thing all over again. And once again, this was a quick message about committing suicide, which I don't believe in. Yah always tells us to have hope. Our young ones are committing suicides every second, it seems like. You read on the news where people are just calling this thing off. They're just tired of this world. No money, no hope, no belief system in the Holy Spirit. And these are the results you get when you don't have a close relationship. And like I said, some of our elders too have given up on life, where they've been living for years and they just don't see anything new happening, so they just quit. But I'm here to deliver this message to say, don't give up. Do not give up. Keep fighting until the end. And if you ever need to talk, write me in the comment section, email me. I'll be more than happy to try to get you guys through this, because once again, this suicide is not good at all. You guys take care. I hope you learned something from this message. Have a fantastic morning.